We have the amazing Cecil Kim with us today. He is
Hi, guys.
Chief Creative Officer and co-founder of Section Studios. And he's going to be here today to talk about art and Rival, the game that they've built, which a little segue before we get into it, I'm really addicted to. Don't tell Cecil. And so Rival Crimson Chaos, which is their new game. So that's what today's show is about. So Cecil, thank you for joining us today. I appreciate you taking the time out of your busy Sunday to come on here and talk about your game with us.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
thank you for having me. I'm a person who had a lot of luck in my life. So I was born in Korea, and I was able to move out here when I was 17, and went to art school, and I did really good at art school. And right after when I graduated, that's when game industry is happening, with the PlayStation launch and stuff. So even though game industry was fairly new, I was fortunate enough to get hired at Square USA. So worked on a Final Fantasy and the Parasite Eve, and that really taught me AAA game development. And then I joined Sony Santa Monica and worked on a couple games before God of War, and then I was in the very beginning of the franchise. So I worked with a small group, and then it grew to be one of the best team in the industry. And then after that, I started my own company with partners, and then we've been doing a lot of service work, helping out other studios to set up the art direction, and then we scrambled to build up our own team, and then here we are. Like, we launched a few games prior to Rival, but Rival is like main game.
What is Rival? Like, if you had to do like what Chu likes to say, the elevator pitch, right? Like,
Yeah.
if you had to give us that
The log
one-liner,
line.
that two-liner, what is Rival Crimson Chaos?
I would say strategy, action, arena game. And you assemble your team, and then you go into the battle, and you actually fight with other people, right? It's hard to find a game like this on a mobile app store.
Yeah.
That's one thing I can guarantee. The feel wise, I think it has a lot of like a League of Legends MOBA type of aesthetic and animation, but we do push envelope a little bit towards more like hardcore, like action feel, like God of War and Castlevania kind of thing.
What was the thing that kind of inspired you to make Rival, and what were some of the influences for that? Because it is a unique product on its own, but it definitely takes pieces from different worlds, but it mashes them up in an interesting way. So
Yeah.
I wanted to kind of hear how you guys got there.
Basically, it was a long journey. Prior to what you see from Rival, we had a different game the team was working on, and that game was it's called Blood Tales. And because of that game, we received some investment, and we start assembling the real the dev team for Rival. It was action RPG, and it's like action RPG because we came from like God of War, and we came from the console side, so we wanted to bring that cool like cinematic experience, right? And we did it really good. But then once you start plugging all these elements, and then we're actually looking at the whole development time, and that all the stuff that we have to do, and we realize we have to really reevaluating our progress. So during that time, what we really did well was the coming up with these cool characters, not just the heroes, but then the AIs, right? The enemies. And because we had these guys that know how to like prototype AIs and make a cool animation, and design side was really strong, we had like cast of these cool characters. And then we look at them and say, man, this is what we're good at. I mean, we can just probably pump out these new characters, and we just want to continue doing that. One thing that I want to emphasize is we're self-publishing this game, so we don't have like deep development fund. So
Mhm.
We have to make a wise decisions, and sometimes we have to pivot the direction, but we can do only so much. And just by looking at that, I mean, I think I'm really proud, but definitely not for everybody. So it start with our love for the game that we want to make. That really help us to understand who we're gonna make game for, right? We're not gonna make game for like 7 years old. I want to make game for like people like you guys, right? People that don't have time to like play PC games and console games, but they do want to have very quality, like intense game experience. We're not set out to compete with Clash Royale, and we have actually deeper the strategy design.
Yeah, don't
Yeah.
compete with them. Crush them. Crush your enemies before you.
So creating these characters, once prototype is all like done, prototype meaning like borrow like assets from existing model and just put simple animation so that combat designer can actually script and see how the unit's going to work with the rest of the game, right? So that process take short as like 3-4 days to like a couple weeks or 3 weeks. So once that's finalized, then that idea is being presented to the artists, right? So we basically figure out, okay, what type of unit do we need now to balance out the whole ecosystem? So if we want it to be a creature, then yeah, we set up the direction for the creature. That's the fun part. I enjoy the most.
Sure.
Something like this. They say like just a stone, right? Brings down this shield over the unit. And it could be simple as a rock. I work with the concept artist, Brian. He's amazing. I kind of like tell him like some references, and then he runs with it, and he comes back, and then that concept will be presented to the animator and 3D modelers, and from there is like everybody bring in ideas, right? So, for example, like this one, like how is gonna animate that rotates and this kind of stuff is it's all animators suggesting. And for me, it's like, what if we have these small rocks kind of floating around them? Because it's actually like carrying a magic.
And each character has a lore, right? That's where you
Yeah.
can see.
So one thing that we wanted to do is we didn't want to lock us down into one like visual direction. As long as you explain the world, that why these things are all fighting each other and how they were able to exist together, then options are like endless, right? It looks like it's all random, but it's not really random. We had actually the character trees. When you say Crimson versus Chaos, Crimson means representing something good. People, whether it's like the group of human or the factory, they try to protect the world from like evil side, and Chaos is actually a spin-off, like they're the bad side, right? So if you see the background is actually matching with his the faction. So if you go to a different class, this guy belongs to the Crimson side. What you guys see here in front of you is the 4 main protagonists for the action RPG. So out of these guys, these 2 guys made a cut, remain as a champion units, but these 2 characters, they're awesome, but we need to kind of revisit them and figure out what they're gonna do. And this guy is also, he's awesome, right? It's like we wanted to talk about personality more than just the look, because he's bold guy. He's bold guy. He's not that good looking. He's just kind of like, you want to go talk to him, right? What happened to you? Kind of.
Donk.
Huh?
Who hurt you, Giant? Who hurt you?
Bald guy is not very good looking.
And
I relate to this guy.
yeah, why would he like had this kind of like chicken bone on his chest, right? That's his lunch, right?
Yeah.
He's got to go back to the store and get like, I ate 9 chickens, so I get 1 extra ones next time or something.
Cecil, I want to know what your favorite characters are.
Oh, my favorite characters. Okay.
Yeah. I can tell you about my favorites.
No.
We'll interview you
Which
next
one?
week.
Okay.
Nice.
Ooh.
So
There's the stuff.
this is early
Marauder.
early exploration. Presenting like cool looking character on a mobile device. There's something you have to remember is that the readability, right? And you don't want to make him too crazy, too busy, but they have to instantly like become memorable character.
Mhm.
Right.
And I think he has this kind of unique like tribal feel with this mask on. And also, he's not like perfectly fit too. He's like either. He's just kind of a little sloppy, you know. He's just so much personality. I love this character. And then this one came after, and they actually presenting the same faction. This one also like really sets a tone for the what we can do with the 3D animation in this small TV screen.
Yeah, and if it was too complex, like you said, it would start to interfere with the animations. And once this character starts moving on the screen, it's cool. The first time you play this unit and like you're there and you're like, oh no, it's about to get attacked, and like it does a backflip and then just shoots the guy.
It's just
like,
perfect.
So cool.
Perfect way to evade, right?
Yeah,
just kind of like
really
boom, boom, and then backflip. And then Gollum, because this one is like not the final design, but it's the first idea of Gollum. You can see like kind of high fantasy traditional Gollum design. Then bam, this one, like when we looked at it, it's like 3 cubes at the top. This is my second favorite character. And then the Dark Mage, she's awesome too.
I love her.
Yeah, she's one of those things pretty annoying. If you get like stunned by her, cannot do anything. I'm like, I think that's the balance. Not everybody's like flipping and like doing crazy stunt. I think that's what's exciting about our game. It's like different tone of music, like all going into, and it's crazy. I love it. I mean, I'm promoting our game, but I'm a big fan. It's like this, it's like when you bring out a new product with really like good intention, meaning, of course you have to be financially successful too, but you can say like we're having blast making these characters, right? For us, you're just gonna have fun. Look at this guy. It's like I'm like Butcher Brothers. Like it came from the name. This is one of the weird character that suddenly somebody said Butcher Brothers, and like, okay, we gotta give him a meat tenderizer. We're designing their skins too, and one of the skin designs actually they're like Vikings.
Nice. So that means there's something new coming to the game.
I mean, yours tap there. I mean, it's in the next update, so we're not too far from it.
All right.
And God, I have so much fun making skins. It's kind of like building a connection with the game, right? And it's kind of like I personally attached to some of the characters, like this guy, right? Like this guy is first orb. I just wanted to have a little bit of face there, but because he's a spell, right? He's a spell. He shows up and he disappears. We didn't want to make him to be too much of a personality, right? And it's going to also get confused with people when select the units. They're thinking this is actually a fighting unit, but I just love this guy because he has the sound, he has this cool animation, and he contributed a lot to the combat. He's he's a hardworking little bull. so I mean, there's a different idea for the skin, right? And I think that's gonna receive really well. I mean, so skeleton. So skeleton is a pretty common unit, right, for action RPG and all games. I want this guy to be really cool, and the basic direction was like terracotta soldiers from the Chinese tomb.
Sure.
Oh, okay.
Ooh,
what is this?
That?
What is that? That was crazy, huh?
That's something different.
That is different. So this is a skin of a Grand Knight.
Oh, wow.
That's
and then
awesome.
The bow tie didn't make it, but I was really pushing for bow tie.
Yeah, bow tie is awesome.
So direction was like, okay, let's go all New York, let's go all Broadway. And I wanted to have this cool, like, jazz kind of Victorian steampunk, and his club is this. So he's awesome. He's really cool. So that's the next step for us. We want to give you guys a lot of cool skins, and whether you can max out your cars and turn that into the essence, so you can purchase this.
That's a great way to handle like players who have
engagement,
right? Like in-gamed and like their towers are upgraded all the way, and it's like, well, what do you do now when you get cards? It's like, well, you can use those to start building towards skin purchase. That's a great idea.
I like it.
We didn't make it too grindy, like long progression design. So I think next thing people are gonna appreciate that is like, they're gonna just start collecting the skins. And
absolutely. I'm already thinking about it.
Okay,
Yeah.
so this is another crazy design. You guys ready? This is what you see in the game, right? So let me show you skin.
Bam. That's awesome.
Bam.
That's cool.
That
So
is really weird, right?
I love it.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't want to go into too deep in the lore, but we actually some ties with the cosmic horror side. So that helped us really open up this new like a design direction. I love the hammer, so when I go into the battle with my hammer, I want to bring this guy, and
That's awesome.
and Donkey will be like, "What the hell is that?" Oh my
That's
god!
exactly what I'll be like. How did you know that's how I'm gonna be? Are you watching me through the game?
What is that thing? Oh my god!
What's happening?
Yeah.
Man.
That's an amazing skin too. Ooh.
This is another skin.
Oh.
This is actually one of my favorite skin, and this is actually Prince Iscariot,
That is
Okay.
awesome.
vampire. Yeah, I mean, if you look at this design, it's really simple but very iconic, which is
Yeah.
I love about it.
Yeah, I like the fins, like the red, that kind of like
The red bat
that
fin.
rhythm,
Bat-
the
Mhm.
rhythm that you have going on, like on the head and the back, and like the
Cool.
gloves. It's cool.
Man, that's gonna be a skin that I need to get.
And then here's a couple more gargoyle skin
Awesome.
concepts. That's another way of looking at our direction for the big creatures. You know, it's very sculptural. Like it feels like sculpture.
You know, like if it was just all stone, for instance, like it would still be a really awesome silhouette and it'd still be a really cool character. But the
Cool.
way that you're creating like those internal rhythms, like with the kind of really black shiny stone mixed with like the purple
Mhm.
kind of glowing stone is really awesome. Like it just adds so much to the character.
And then this one is we're not prototyping, we're not designing yet, but you know, it's like when
The
you-
Yeti.
there's a definitely tone set in our game that little bit too scary, too core. So moving forward, I mean, we're gonna like keep receiving the feedback from the community. Maybe you can add more little light-hearted, fun characters, or you can like more focus on this kind of trope characters and stuff.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good thing though, right? Like
Mhm.
because one of the things that when I was looking at the game, it's like everything kind of lives in like a kind of dark, serious world, but there's still characters in there that have a little bit of comic relief or a little bit of tropiness. Like the dwarves are one that comes to mind immediately that bring a
Yeah.
little bit of comic relief. A lot of like like little goblins and stuff too.
Goblins. Mhm.
So I think it's important to give players the ability to customize their experiences to kind of fit the world they want in, because the underlying mechanics of this game are solid. So it's like, why not
Mhm.
allow players to play the way that they want, visually at least?
Exactly.
And I want a Yeti just for the record, Cecil. So
Yeah,
just bump
he's
that
cool.
one up. Bump that one up on your guys' list of skins that you need to do.
Which one you guys kind of? This one kind of ogre kind of look. The bottom ones.
I like the bottom ones. I like
Yeah.
the good old fashioned
Me too.
blue bellied
Blue.
Yeti. I like
Me
that.
too. Me too. Yeah.
That
Cool.
was pretty cool.
I like cute stuff too. So if you throw in baby yetis, I'll probably
Oh yeah. Of course.
like baby yetis. You
Yeah,
know,
like
Yeah,
you
yeah.
make
Maybe a tappy
you make the
Yetis.
Yeti your leader, then it like
Yeah.
throws one of its babies in the air and
Yeah.
then hits it with its
exactly.
hits it with
Exactly.
its back and it fires it ahead.
Mhm.
Yeah, it'll like latch onto someone's back and just like
Yeah.
chew.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh my god.
That's
Cecil's like, he's like, that's great. So next,
Yeah.
no. I mean, I'm doing the same thing. I'm the guy come to the team and say like, how about we have a nutcracker? And everyone's all like, what? Like a nutcracker? I can see nutcracker like fighting in our game. It's like, what does he do? He's like, well, he's gonna turn himself into cannon and shoot his shoot his head, you know. So unlike character units, arenas all same. We have a footprint of the dimension and how far the floor has to go, because this is like the sports rule, right? The rule has to be same, even though aesthetically the design changes on the arena. Because this is my expertise in creating this world, right? From the games that I worked on, I put a lot of focus on making these awesome arenas, and this is actually concept. So when this got made into 3D, we had to tune like noisiness on the texture and set up some lighting situation where like it looks cool and very out there in the sun, but at the same time it doesn't fight with all the visuals happening in the game.
Mhm.
So this one is like the tutorial arena. So that's why we step back and say we need really simple arena for the tutorial. And this one is like idea is like Niagara Falls. There's water is pouring down. There's no music. You just hear the waters and running. And then we want this like super cool like transformer type of the stone arena, right? So this one of my favorite, and this one became the Zodiac arena because we have a Frankenstein, right? So we have to create this arena for some of the mechanical units like automaton, and so it's cool. I love
Yeah,
this
that
design.
one's really cool.
That is
I
really
love,
like,
cool.
at
I like
first-
how it's a
Yeah.
robot.
Yeah, I love
Flamethrowing
that
love that.
because
Yeah.
I love that because I was looking at it and like you're so focused on the battle, and then you realize like you're playing on a giant robot, and you're like, oh shit! It took me like I think 3 or 4 times before I realized it was a robot.
So yeah, I mean, there's so many cool ideas that we have, and we already making few of them. My natural like the kind of ambition sitting here, right? Like I just want to create awesome arenas moving forward. It's like one after another. Talking about that, let me show you one awesome arena that hasn't released yet. You guys cool?
Yeah, we're ready
Yeah,
for
yeah.
it.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I think the Kaden and the art team will be okay with this because we already introduced the Mutinous Chain
The corrupted pirate ship.
pirate ship
Love it.
because
That's awesome.
we are like we're a bunch of guys that like making games, but when we get to like what do we like and stuff, we're just like a bunch of kids too. So one person say pirates, everyone's all like, yeah, right. And Mutinous Jane, we want to make the stage for her, right? We're kind of toying around different lighting, but maybe we can just kind of a little bit more like moonlighting setting. Once arena gets darker, some of the units stand out. Effects obviously looks better, but some of the units might be like can get lost. So you have to find a good balance.
Sure.
So I'm really excited about this one. It's like this one is also the new arena.
Wow.
We call it Frozen Arena. It's like happy, like for my daughter to play this game. Yeah, and stick to the rule too. Like you gotta have a fine, good appetite, right? It's like one thing is too heavy, too scary. This when it comes to this arena, it's a little bit more magical and.
Is that like a beast underneath that they froze underneath the ice?
Yeah, I mean
That's so cool.
because
Pretty cool.
thinking about this world, how big is our world and how unique our world is. We actually come up with this idea of there's a dragon in the space in the time before time, right? His job is giving birth to a planet, right? I still haven't like visualized what that dragon looks like because I think that would be so awesome design, right? It's like when I think of our game as IP, I think that is the how abstract it can go. But it looks like a bat now. So the one thing is that because we have to optimize the texture size and
Right.
so we had to make it a little bit more the symmetrical design. And there's a little nice hot tub, once you came down a ski slope.
Got that right in the middle. After
Right
that's
in the middle,
victory,
after ski,
victory
after-
tub.
yeah. And then it's like tomes. Instead of just opening up chests, we had a couple designs, and we ended up coming up with this bunch of different themes. And there's one actually, my favorite one's the guild tome.
With that cool feather pin on the side. I like
Yeah, so I don't know if you noticed, we also had a guild check-in tome, right? So everybody in the guild, if they win a lot, your tome status goes up, right?
Yeah, I
So
saw
everybody
that.
benefits from it. So those are the social features we're gonna constantly like bring out too.
Sure.
I have
So
a
awesome.
question about the guild function then. So you can contribute to it,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
but can you take away from it? Because I've been losing a lot, guys.
Oh
just
no,
so
I
you
don't
know.
think. No.
Sorry.
It's okay.
If
It's
you,
okay.
Cecil, if you said yes, we were kicking Chewy out of our
Oh,
group,
no,
Yeah,
so
true.
she
you
was gonna have to be in her own guild.
Oh, no,
Hey.
not true.
So I'm just reaping benefits.
Thank you
I like
so
it.
much for sharing all of that art with
was
us.
really
Yeah.
awesome.
That was a an amazing journey through some of the designs, and I appreciate you showing us some unreleased stuff that you'll get yelled at about
Yeah.
tomorrow when you get into work.
I
I
mean,
can't wait. Can't wait for that.
I want to get in
Yeah,
trouble.
fair
I'm gonna
enough.
be like, yeah, teams like, what did you do that? That's like secret for the fans. It's like,
The one thing I will commend you guys on, because it's very easy to not be able to get the balance right in a game like this, where there are in-app purchases and you can
Exactly.
unlock packs of cards to help build your team, is that you guys do give away a ton of, you don't give it away, you make the player earn it, but you do give away enough like cards and in-game like crimson and gold to make it so that you can build your team properly with just time and hard work.
Yeah.
And the other thing I've noticed is like, I was playing Reggie before the show, actually like way too early before the show. We were supposed to be setting up, and Chu was trying to get everything set up, and me and him were playing
I was just yelling at
clan
them.
battles on our phone. And I'm like substantially higher level than Reggie is when we were clan battling, but he kicked my ass. Like, he absolutely kicked my ass. His like strategy was good. And so it's not even about necessarily the level of the characters. It's like how you play them.
No, it's not. It's
Oh.
not. I'm telling you, I'm level player 9, and I get ass kicked by like player account level 5. So what that says is, it's not really so much of the pay for the power, right?
Yeah. It's not pay to win. It's like
it's like some people are like they're just so fast, and they read my strategy so fast. We play our game every day, and technically we do our internal tournaments like at least like two times a week. And you wouldn't believe how, I mean, these guys are making this game, but they're just one of the top players. And that's why I stopped participating the tournament, because I suck, I'm like, but the thing is, like, I don't want to show everybody like how frustrated I am either, right? I just gotta.
That's hilarious. You're like, you're going into business meetings and you're like, I'm just way too busy to play in a tournament, guys. There's just no way I can make it. I've got business to do.
Yeah.
And you're really in the back. You're really in the back, just practicing different deck builds and being like, I'm gonna get you next time.
I'll be honest with you. I actually went up to our the UI designer, say, can you give me a lesson? I'll sit down with you after work.
I think it's really evident from my side, and I think that Reggie and Chu will agree with this, that you can tell that you guys play the game. You can tell that you guys are sitting around going, I want to be able to do this, or wouldn't it be cool if we could do this? You're not just focused on let's make more characters or let's make more skins. Like, that's a part of it, but the whole game is good, which is really impressive to me.
It's all really well thought out too. Like, you can tell that you guys are really passionate about what you're doing over there, and that's amazing.
Yes, that's kind of like norm for the good developers. When they go lunch, they still talk about their games, right?
Sure.
That's a great sign.
The three of us have been doing nothing but playing this game. I'm laying in bed at midnight. It's 4 in the morning in New York, and Chewy and Reggie are sending me clan battle invites, and I'm like, guys, why are you awake right now? That's a huge testament to how fun this game is. Honestly. So if it sounds like I'm like, kissing his digital ass over here, just understand that I'm only kissing it. I'm only kissing it because I'm trying to get free crimson. No,
trying to get that crimson. We hope we are the first cartoon interview you've done so far.
Oh yeah. You guys are awesome. You guys really good looking models.
Thank you.
We do what we can.
Reggie is the king of art.
Reggie created. Oh, cool.
Yep.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, I'm the good looks. Reggie's the artist. Chewy is the technical mastermind and editor.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Slash email blaster.
Yeah, slash email scheduler. And then I'm just the dashing good looks and voice of an angel,
voice.
but you already knew that.
Cool.
Yeah, so here we are with Cecil Kim of Section Studios talking about the hit new mobile game Arrival. Who will your rival be? So yeah, we do really appreciate it. Guys, if you guys check out chat, you can check out Rival at www.sectionstudios.com/rival. You can check them out at facebook.com Play Rival. You can find them really easily on the App Store and the Android Play, Google Play marketplace with Rival, Crimson Chaos.
Right.
The game is free. Check it out. Just know you're gonna get your ass kicked when you hit silver rank, because that's where I'm sitting. You're gonna have to beat me to get past that. So just get ready.
Yeah.
Thank you again for everything.
Thank you.
So that was awesome having
Thank you,
you here. It's
Trey.
really
Yeah.
awesome.
Bye bye.
Thanks, guys.